Welcome to the Ultimate Tolkien Tournament. This is Middle-earth Madness. Yes, welcome to the Chamber of Death yet again, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for the third round of the Third Age Throwdown. I hope you brought your popcorn because these fights are about to get gnarly. We are joined tonight by Engine Chief and Campy. How you guys doing?
Good.
Excellently done. Are you prepared for battle?
I've been waiting for this all day.
We're ready.
Yes. So, a quick look, as we always do, at how we got here in the bracket. So, here we are. The Rohan region, where we will be focusing our attention tonight. We, of course, are here in the third round. Our first fight of the night, Gandalf against Elladan. How'd they get here? Well, Elladan was a challenger who first fought the Watcher in the Water. Slew him with minimal effort, I would say. Then fought Gimli. And with a little more effort, it was a bit of a fight. He advanced in that one to take on Gandalf, who made short work of the Barrow Wight in round one and now faces Elladan tonight. In the bottom half of the bracket, tonight we have Galadriel against the Witch King of Angmar. How'd they get here? Well, neither one is a challenger, right? So they both had byes in the first round, while Shelob and Balin duked it out. Balin got the victory there, advanced to take on Galadriel, and in a pretty close fight, actually, Galadriel won, but Balin did some damage, if I'm remembering correctly there. Meanwhile, Frodo slew Ugluk in a bit of an upset there. Went on to take on the Witch King, and in another fight where, Frodo did more damage than you might have thought. Keep in mind, Frodo has the mithril coat there and sting. So, he's a couple seed lines higher than your typical hobbit. He can deal a little bit of damage, right? But in the end, the Witch King advances. And so it's pretty chalk on the bottom. However, one of the themes of the tournament so far is Galadriel. Actually, the only 3 seed that won. There's been a bit of a curse on 3 seeds, if you look down here in the Mordor region. Aragorn, fan favorite, obviously, book favorite, upset by Azog. This whole region fell apart. The bottom half totally fell apart because Glorfindel was upset as well by Farmer Maggot and his hounds. But continuing with that 3 seed being unlucky in this tournament, check this out. Even over here in the Gondor region, which is the last region we fought on Friday, Dain got the better of Beor and slew another 3 seed to advance here. And in the Isengard region, Treebeard went down to Thorin Oakenshield. So the 3s, despite having that first round bye, have not done well. So again, Galadriel, much to Engine Chief's delight, the only 3 seed who advanced. And I say to his delight because Engine Chief owns her in his fantasy team, which we'll show you now. So if you're just joining us, haven't caught the first few rounds of this tournament, well, no worries, because what we've done here is we've all drafted fantasy teams, just like you would, if you play fantasy football or basketball. Same concept. We've all drafted rosters of Lord of the Rings characters instead of football players, right? So you see our rosters here. The black rows are characters that have already been eliminated. The white ones are ones that are still alive, or total rows anyway. So Engine Chief, you see down here at the bottom, he has Galadriel. So he's got skin in the game tonight. Campy, you got anyone going tonight here? Let's see. Yes,
Gandalf.
Gandalf. So both have skin in the game. So how do you score fantasy points? Well, your character has to win their fight. And now that we're in round 3 here, wins are worth 30 points. So people could be closing the gap here rapidly under the right circumstances. And again, our upset bonus. If your character pulls an upset, there's a seed. We have a bonus, right, for those upsets. It's the seed differential times the round number. So the multiplier tonight and this week will be 3 instead of 2 on the multiplier. So those upsets are going to be handy. But that said, Chucky, who can't join us tonight because of the Memorial Day holiday. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. Let's keep those heroes in mind, both in the world of fantasy and the world of reality. All right, but yeah, Chucky here is dominating so far. But as you've heard us say before, here in the Chamber of Death in Middle Earth Madness, you are never out of the fight. Keep that in mind. So everyone's still alive here. Which brings us, meanderingly, to the first fight of the night. And it is Gandalf, Stormcrow, the Grey Pilgrim, Mithrandir, Olorin in the Old Country, the white or the grey version, as you like, actually. In this battle engine, in this tournament, he's more Gandalf the Grey, meaning he does still have Glamdring. He doesn't wield the Elven Ring of Fire, however. So, slight differentiation there. He's pretty much the Gandalf we all know and love, but other characters, Galadriel, as you'll see tonight as well, and Círdan, they actually wield their Elven rings. Gandalf the White, if you recall in the story, was the version of Gandalf that actually had that elven ring loaned to him from Círdan when he returned after his battle with the Balrog. Okay, so he shows back up at the Grey Havens, and Círdan basically says, "All right, buddy, you're gonna be needing this more than me. So here you go. All right, use it well." And then Gandalf the White is armed with that elven ring, which is extremely handy. So first up, Gandalf the Grey against Elladan. Gentlemen, who you got?
I feel like I've smelled an upset here, man. I mean, it's kind of been the theme for a few nights, where you get it, and I just love to see Gandalf crush Elladan, but I don't know, man. Call me a skeptic.
We have all 4 1 seeds are alive, aren't they?
Yes, no 1 seed has been slain as of yet.
But of course, they were facing much weaker opposition than it gets serious now.
Yeah. So our 1 seed, Saruman alive, the Balrog, Durin's Bane alive, Gandalf alive, and Sauron all alive. Yep. So, but yeah, as Engine Chief says, it's tough. Well, what I mean is, it's going to be tough going up against 1 seeds on the upsets, right? But again, as these tournaments go along, these matchups start getting harder and harder for everyone. So I'll pull up the stats here and we'll take a closer look.
As a prop bet, do you think a 1 seed will win the whole thing?
Question for myself?
Well, everyone has an opinion.
Yeah. I think they are, yes. I would take that bet. Most days, most times. Of course, it always depends on the matchup, but generally speaking, I would take that bet.
I'll go the other way. I'll guess.
Nice.
I'll guess.
Field.
I'll guess. All the 1 seeds will die.
Yes, and Gandalf might be the first. To TJ's point here. Look, so blue line. If you're unfamiliar with these pregame graphs, blue line is Elladan's stats, all of his battle stats. Green line is Mithrandir's battle stats. Okay. And some advantages that you can see straight away for the half-elven ranger. The two that are probably going to be the most important, accuracy and piercing. Although piercing is not an advantage. Accuracy, dexterity are advantages over Gandalf, as well as agility. And slight advantage in elusiveness. Okay, so he gets around better. He'll engage Gandalf better with his agility. He'll elude Gandalf's engagement a little bit better. His aim is better. His accuracy from range combat. And both characters, as you can see, are going to be preferring range combat in this. Gandalf will use the Flame of Ardnor. Elladan will use his Dunedain bow. Both will do so 93% of the time here. So rarely are they going to engage in melee, but watch for that in the readouts because sometimes conditions force them to. That'll happen at about 7% of the time. Anything else that stands out to you guys?
So accuracy goes against deflection, right?
No, dexterity.
Accuracy goes against dexterity. Well, then the cross product of those favors.
Oh, I covered it up. Yeah, accuracy against dexterity here, if you cross multiply, so to speak. Elladan will have an easy time hitting Gandalf, 85 to 63, as you can see here. And it's very even for Gandalf trying to hit Elladan. So maybe watch for that to be an advantage. But then on the piercing, that's once they do hit, what kind of damage can you do? Elladan has the 10-point advantage, 80 to 70 here. So,
No,
yeah.
no. Mithrandir has the advantage.
What'd I say? Did I say Elladan?
I believe you did, yes.
Sorry. Gandalf has a 80 to 70 advantage, 10-point advantage to Gandalf on piercing. And what does piercing do? Once you hit the opposing character, again from range, this piercing is how much damage is being done by that successful shot. Okay. Accuracy, where Elladan holds the advantage, is hitting him. You have to hit, of course, to do any damage. I'll show you the flow here. Look at these yellow lines, top and bottom. There's a coin toss involved. You roll to strike, which is hitting from range, which is accuracy against dexterity. And then over here, the second roll, if your hit is successful, the second roll over here is piercing against deflection. That'll determine how much damage is done. So, gentlemen, are you prepared to fight?
I got an audience here with me, so they're anxious.
Well then, the famous words. You want someone else say it? Take it away, guys.
Let us fight.
Excellently done. In the first fight of the third round of the Third Age Throwdown. Easy for me to say, a lot of thirds in there. It is Gandalf against Elladan. Let us fight. First attack to Mithrandir, otherwise known as Gandalf. A miss. Elladan comes back. Hits, but does no damage. Gandalf comes back. hit, wounds, a slight smite, taking the half-elven ranger down to 62 life points. Can Elladan regroup and do some damage with his bow? He shoots, he hits, he wounds, tink! Deflected by Gandalf for minimum damage. Gandalf comes back, misses. Elladan misses. Gandalf hits. No damage off the elven armor. Elladan shoots, hits, wounds, a slight smite. Advantage to Elladan through 9 rounds. Gandalf attacks, misses. Elladan comes back, also misses, and they're dancing. A hit and a wound, but minor damage for Gandalf with the Flame of Arnor. Neither character has been forced to use his blade yet in melee, but watch for that, it could still happen. Only 7% of the time. Both characters prefer range. Let us see if Elladan can lengthen his lead. A shot, a hit, no damage. Gandalf regroups, attacks, misses. Elladan attacks back, hits, no damage. Gandalf is deflecting as best he can with his spirit and with his staff and his magic power. Gandalf's armor is not that strong. Let's see if he can deal some damage. A miss. Elladan attacks, hits, no damage. Gandalf hits and wounds. Excuse me, minor damage. Just 3. And Gandalf now has a slight lead through 17 rounds. Elladan attacks. A wound! Chipping away. And they are dead even, approaching 20 rounds. A hit by Gandalf. No damage. Elladan attacks. Misses. Gandalf hits with wounds. Slay! With the Flame of Arnor, Gandalf deals a death stroke. And Gandalf wins. There we have it. Our first fight of the evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I have a child here who says that was an epic battle.
Excellently said.
Excellently said.
I'll take my 30 points, please.
You got Mithrandir, don't you? Coming right up. Let's see. I'll tell you, yeah. Let's pull up the old fantasy bracket. Up at the top, Campy's roster. 30 points for Campy. Bringing Campy up to 90 points. I believe that's good for 3rd place. 4th place. 4th place, Campy. Behind Hanti, Chucky, and Detl. Excellently done. And meanwhile... Go ahead.
Oh, I just have to win them all. That's all.
That's all. That's simple. And Hanti lost yet another mine. Well, it's getting tight. It's getting tight around here. Dadgum, Hanti, who was our early leader out of the gates there, down to 1 character, Círdan. So, yeah, it's... Oof, that's brutal. How the mighty have fallen. He's not here to defend himself, so we won't talk too much smack. But wow. So, gentlemen, how'd you like that first fight?
Man, it was close. They were neck and neck. One, one sweet strike in the mix there took it down.
In the nuts?
Apparently, that's the only shot you need.
Is that what you said, though? Or did I mishear?
No, it's not at all what I said, but
man,
that's
totally
okay.
that. 1 shot in the nuts is all it took. Yeah, these are discouraged shots in any form of fighting, I believe. But yeah, that was a good.
Well,
Go ahead.
Well, What we need is one of those in the next round. Chucky
Yeah.
is way ahead in fantasy, and
Yes.
somebody's got to do something to weaken him someday.
This
He
is true.
said, providing
Yeah.
the intro to the next fight.
Excellent segue, Engine Chief, and right on cue. The Maestro pulls up the next fight. Yeah, so as Engine Chief said, Chucky owns the Witch King in our fantasy league, and Engine Chief owns Galadriel, the Lady of Lorien. So, if we're rooting against the overall leader in fantasy, which is Chucky, again, let's just go back here real fast, and you can see this here. Oh no, you can't because I have the overlay. One sec, sorry. So we'll take away this so you can see what I'm saying. Yeah, so Chucky's roster, if you follow me, he's still got 4 dudes alive. That's one advantage. And the overall lead in points with 161. However, if the Witch King goes bye-bye right here, that would be a nice increase of the odds for everyone else. But yeah, this is just a gnarly roster he's got. It's a 2 seed, maybe the best overall 5 seed, a 1 seed, and definitely the best 11 seed. So, yeah. However, there is always hope. So, yes. You guys' gut reactions to this one, though, while I cue it up.
Well, Professor Tolkien says there's always hope, and there's not going to be a lot of hope in the fantasy side of things if the Witch King advances. So we really need Galadriel to win here.
Do you think she will? Do you think she should?
Wow. I mean, I view these as I don't know as much as I should about the Witch King, but I view these as very evenly matched.
Yep, I think that's pretty much spot on.
Yeah, I'd have to take a look at the numbers.
Well, let's do that, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
So, the Witch King will prefer melee combat with his Morgul mace, while Galadriel will prefer ranged combat with the Elven Ring Nenya. They'll each be able to use their preferred weapons about 85% of the time, which means 14% of the time they actually will have to use their opposite weapons. So this is a neat sort of crossover fight, a ranged character against a melee. What does it mean in terms of the numbers? What jumps out at you here, Engine Chief?
Sorry, I said something brilliant, but I was muted.
No worries.
Odds makers give slightly unfavorable odds to the Witch King.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
So blue line Galadriel, green line Witch King. I'm looking at an advantage in Vala. However, she is going to want to use range combat. So really, let's narrow it down to her accuracy is 70 versus the Witch King's dexterity, which is 71. Pretty balanced there. However, her piercing, 76. It's an elven ring attack. It's okay against 70 deflection, which is, again, okay. But her melee is not that good, so it's kind of all Galadriel can do. Meanwhile, the Witch King's advantages, green line, are ferocity, striking. He's more accurate, but he doesn't want to use his ranged attack because it doesn't have great piercing. He's got stamina and toughness advantages on her, but slight. Yeah, I see this is a close one, guys.
Really close. Really close.
Really, I mean, according to the bar charts, the red in the background, the biggest advantage is, ferocity and striking, which again, if you remember our stats here, on offense, on melee at the top here in red, ferocity is 1/3 of the damage dealt, but it's also the likelihood of landing a successful strike from the outset. Okay, so he should do that pretty well on her. And then, did I say for us? Yeah, for us. I'm saying it right. Okay. Striking, meanwhile, determines the likelihood of wounding the enemy. And again, those are the Witch King's 2 advantages. His striking will be pitted against her armor, and that's a huge disadvantage for Galadriel. 84 against 38. Right here, if you cross multiply. Okay. So, what that means in English is he will be able to strike her. No question on most of these dice rolls. That's only one step of the battle here.
No. The armor's the level 3, how much damage it does. So if he can engage, if he can hit, if he can do damage, then he'll do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Because of her lack of armor.
Yeah, I was just trying to highlight. So roll to strike here, the square kind of in the middle of your screen. I'm not sure if you can see my mouse, but that is what will that's what's determined by the striking versus armor dice roll. So that's going to be pivotal in this one because that I see that as the main advantage for the Witch King because Galadriel just doesn't have good armor. But as Engine Chief said, what that means then is he'll be able to. It doesn't necessarily mean that he'll be able to do grotesque damage. It just means he will get through the armor, land a hit, and have a chance, not a guaranteed outcome, but a chance to wound. Wounding is determined by a different roll. So, having seen the numbers, how you guys calling this one?
You also need to look at the second to last line. Lots of defense here. We might be here for a while. They all have those magic, spirit, those things, which mean it's hard for the first blow to kill them.
Exactly right. You'll see here Galadriel is maxed out in spirit. That's a defensive stat. So despite her lack of armor, she's not defenseless. That's 1/3 of her defense right there is maxed out. Okay. Magic also, that's an offensive stat. Very, very strong. So she's not, she's not defenseless just because of her low armor. That's a good point. Shall we see what happens in this one?
I expect Galadriel to land about equal number of blows, but the Witch King's ones might be more powerful. So I'm leaning Witch King on this.
But, and that's fair, leaning Witch King, but rooting for the Lady of Lothlorien.
That's right. Not too many ladies left.
No. Let us fight. In our second battle of the night, we have the Witch King of Angmar against the Lady of Lothlorien, Galadriel. Let us fight! First attack to Galadriel! With the Elven Ring Ninja does minor damage, but a good start. The Witch King counters, misses with his Morgul mace. Galadriel comes back, misses. The Witch King hits, wounds, slight smite to the lady, taking the lead through the 5th round. Galadriel regroups, tries to attack, misses. Oh, again with the mace! Actually, the Witch King uses necromancy and does minor damage with his less favorable weapon. Galadriel tries again and misses the wily wraith. Now here comes the Witch King. Hits, wounds, a grotesque wound, heavily hewn. And the nasty wraith, one of the wielders of the 9 rings for men, has an extreme advantage heading into the 9th round. Oh, come on, Galadriel. Can she do anything? Let us see. A miss. She's forced to use the craft of Melian. She engages but cannot hit. Back comes the Witch King. Misses. Galadriel's still alive, but barely. She attacks and wounds, but not enough damage. Just minor. Here comes the Witch King. A miss. Galadriel. A hit. A wound. Slain! A death stroke out of nowhere! And Galadriel vanquishes the Wraith. How do we like them apples?
I told
Very
you none of
surprising.
Galadriel's strikes would do much damage. Yeah.
Oh my god, I thought she was gone and she wins it with 4 life left.
Man, it's so many flashbacks to like some of the early Final Fantasy games, man.
Oh,
Hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, man. Wow. So there's your first major come from behind that I can remember. Yeah, unbelievable.
I mean, yeah, one more tink and she's a goner. So this is
Exactly.
unbelievable.
Wow. Okay, Dada, we're giving you some fantasy points. It's not an upset, but it's a 30 fur. So that's still pretty nice over here. So here we go. 30 points for Dada.
Yeah.
143. Welcome to second place, Dattle.
On the small table. Get away from me.
Okay. And there you have it. Yeah, 143. So about 20 points behind our leader, Chucky. So, in our shortened format, that is the last fight of the night, gentlemen. And so let us take a look at the bracket, shall we? Actually, before we do that... Nope, never mind. We'll go ahead and do that. So, the bracket. How are we looking? Nope, wrong region. Where are we at here? Up, 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 up. There we go. Sorry about that. All right. So Gandalf will advance to the regional finals to take on Galadriel. Should be a good one.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a nice one.
You know, they're a little bit similar, but I think at least the early preview here on that one might be Glamdring. So if Gandalf, maybe he'll select to use melee in that one. Probably not. He's still probably a little better from ranged with the Fire of Arnor. But he at least can do both, whereas Galadriel, as we just saw, she really heavily advantages the ranged attack with her Elven Ring.
Yeah, but with a big swing and a hit like the last one, man,
Yeah.
she can take away a chunk like that, right? It's anybody's game.
Oh, 100%. So, quick preview of tomorrow night. How do you guys see these? Discuss, if you would, these two matchups for tomorrow night. Just give the folks a quick preview. You can start with this one while I clean up the bracket here.
I think there's some mute button issues.
Okay.
But the I see Sauron, just really hard to see him losing.
Yeah.
I got an advisor here that's watching for the first time. What do you think will happen in this?
I think it might be a close match like last time, except that Throwdown wins.
Okay,
It's possible.
we've got a kid from the generation who ought to know, saying Throwdown will win.
Excellently chosen, foul one.
I mean, I would lean towards Sauron, but I'm on record as saying that all the ones are going to drop out somewhere, so here's a great place to do it.
Good call. Yeah, sticking with that pick. Sorry, so this finally refreshed here. Yeah, so as you saw tonight, we have Gandalf against Galadriel here officially in the Rohan region. And sorry, that backtracked. We were looking ahead here. We have one pick on the record, Círdan over Sauron, which would be sweet to see. And is entirely possible. Though, I'm not sure I would bet Granny's house on it.
Yeah, I bet your house on it.
Yeah, just bet my house on it. Easy enough.
Yeah, there you go.
And then here we have the region, as we teased at the beginning of the show. Things totally fell apart down here because we had two upsets in the same region. Aragorn was slain by the orc, Azog. And Glorfindel, one of the strongest elves, was defeated by Farmer Maggot the Hobbit. Which sets up tomorrow night's fight of Azog against Farmer Maggot. Pretty cool one.
I think the streak continues.
Say that again, Campy.
I think the streak continues.
For Maggot?
Yes.
Oh, no. Well, Chucky would like to hear that.
I don't think Azog's that good against ranged people, and Farmer Maggot's going to stay away from him and sick the hounds on him.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that might be it. We shall see. Well, I'm glad you have an audience there helping you guys out. That sounds useful and fantastic.
Yeah, we got tons of them, but only one's really knowledgeable about the Middle Earth.
Now, has Stryker read the books or seen the movies?
All the movies.
Excellently done. So, Stryker, can he hear me right now?
Yeah.
No.
Switching on and off to the headsets because of background noise. Sorry.
No worries. Just tell him his next mission, if he chooses to accept it, is to pick up those books and read them. Do it. Do it now.
Quit harassing people.
He says he'll do it if the library has them. He won't pay money for them, though.
I own them.
I was going to say, Campy, if you don't own them, you're doing something wrong.
No, I got them.
Good. Yeah, they're just fantastic, man. You can't lose.
Okay, well done. So we'll see you tomorrow night.
Indeed. So, everyone, thanks for joining. Do all that stuff in red, please. Por favor. S'il vous plaît. Bitte. Whatever language. Do it. Helps us get you the info you guys need. So, that's all with that. Campy, Engine Chief, appreciate you guys joining as always, man. Hope it was fun. Glad we got both of you guys some fantasy points. So, you're welcome.
Yeah. Very worth it.
Yeah.
Great. Well, you guys go have a good night.
Sunburn over the holidays, so all right. Take care.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And thanks everyone else for watching. And until the next battle, remember, as Professor Tolkien tells us, you can only come to the morning through the shadows. And where there is life, there is always hope. You are never out of the fight.